Alright, I think this is the 4th U.S. Navy ship that I've visited as a museum ship in as many months. And this is the Coast Guard cutter, Taney, I think. It served in World War II right after the 80s. But, you know, I'm noticing some common themes and features in these ships. I just thought I'd kind of go through these before I forget them. Number one, on all these ships, you get a lot of pipes and wires and ducts and everything, and you know, they're all kind of covered in the sort of paint resin, which I guess protects them. And this is something you see in subs, you see it in surface ships and everything. Number two, stepping into the engine room here, you know, you always look at the engines, always way at the bottom of the ship, and it's a big mass of pipes and a big thing right there, and you can never make heads or tails out of it, and you have no idea what you're looking at. This is just how it is in all these things. All the engines are really complicated, or so it seems anyway. There are more of these. This just looks awful. These are all over the place. Another thing I've noticed about these ships is, I don't know if maybe this is just how they made them in the old days, I don't know if they're different today, but the temperature control isn't really that great inside of these things. So you go below decks and it can get kind of hot. Like, it's probably about 90 degrees in here right now, which isn't too bad. This is really standard for like the, I guess the enlisted man's like mess hall. This is what it looked like on the, you know, USS New Jersey, on the other surface ship I saw and everything. This is very standard. Yeah, this sort of like high school cafeteria type thing, very familiar. And in these ships, there's always an officer's mess, which is nicer and is separate. I think that might not be the case on the submarines. Space might be at such a premium there that they all just have to eat together in a cramped little room. I can't remember 100%, but it might be. But this is really what they all kind of look like, what the mess halls look like on these ships. And again, you know, you never find any normal doorways. They're always ceiling like this, so if the ship is sinking, they can, you know, it'll only sink one compartment, and you always got to watch your feet and step over. And then this is the, you know, like the crew quarters. Officers always have their own private room, or maybe they have to share with one other officer, but that's as bad as it gets. This is just sort of the general crew quarters. You know, these are practically kennels, and you know, there's very little privacy here. You're in a room with a couple dozen other guys. It's even worse in submarines from what I've seen. In submarines, you'll be sleeping on top of a torpedo. This is actually pretty good. Like, looking at the, you know, space between the bunks, like the vertical space, that's about 2 feet. That's actually pretty good. I mean, in the submarine that I looked at, I mean, like, the top bunk is literally, the bottom of the top bunk will be right in your face if you're sleeping right there. Like, you've got barely any room to move around. You know, I'm like just kind of lying down here in this, lying down in this bunk right now. Like, you know, let's say I'm trying to sleep. I mean, I can see the guy right next to me. I can see, you know, there's a bunk behind him and the bunk behind him, and then I can see those guys sleeping on the bottom there. I can see all those guys sleeping on the bottom there, going all the way back. So, you know, unless you can rig up a curtain here or something to kind of, you know, block you off, you've got no privacy. I mean, you know, 10 people can look at you at once while you're lying in bed. But this is actually not that bad compared to some of the other Navy museum ships I've seen.